So the diversity itself is not the problem. It's just the volume, that there just simply isn't enough jobs, isn't enough rental units, aren't enough homes, aren't enough spaces in schools, aren't enough doctors for us to absorb 150,000 people a year every year. It's just we have seen the system push to the point of breaking. And I think we
But
all
it sounds like
recognize
it's our problem. It's not our problem as an
it's
immigrant.
the
I mean,
number,
we're here because we were invited or we were allowed to
it's
through
the,
the long
yeah.
process of scrutiny.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that we have to go back to the more normal levels of immigration that we had prior to COVID. Um,
I keep hearing the word we Alberta government want to have more control over the immigration process or immigrant file, just like in Quebec.
We're
So
going to go to Sam Nammoura now, and then after that, we'll go to Amrit Singh Brar. Go ahead, Sam.
First of all, thank you for your work on the halal mortgage. That
oh
it's a
yeah.
real thing now here in Alberta. So on behalf of the Muslim community of in Alberta, I would like to thank you and your government for working hard for this program. Talk. My question is regard the fight that it's been going on between the government of Alberta and federal government regard immigrants. I mean, I keep hearing the word we Alberta government want to have more control over the immigration process or immigrant file, just like in Quebec. So that kind of fight, it's really causing us so-called immigrant we feel like we're been somehow a toss-up in between the fight. So we notice an increased hostilities toward immigrant in general. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We've been here for 30 years. We've been here for like 3 months. That environment, that fight, or that political fight, I should say, over the fight over the immigrant files. It really is resonating down deep and the grassroots level, and to immigrant as the problem, not the federal government policies. So my question is, what specific steps, beside our community doing their work, what's the specific steps that the Alberta government is taking to combating racism and protect immigrant community, also promoting inclusion at the same time, not only say, oh, we're equal, we're okay, we like immigrant, but also to help overcome this problems and create more cohesion in the Alberta communities.
Well, the diversity is not the problem. We have got, I think, 163 different linguistic groups in Alberta, and we have large numbers of diaspora communities from all over the world. So the diversity itself is not the problem. It's just the volume, that there just simply isn't enough jobs, isn't enough rental units, aren't enough homes, aren't enough spaces in schools, aren't enough doctors for us to absorb 150,000 people a year every year. It's just we have seen the system push to the point of breaking, and it's causing frustration for Albertans who have overcrowded classrooms or can't get a doctor or can't buy a home. And I think it's causing frustration for immigrant communities as well, who've been here for a very long period of time. I think we
But
all
it sounds like
recognize
it's our problem. It's not our problem as an
it's
immigrant.
the
I mean,
num
we're here because we were invited or we were allowed to
it's
through
the
the long
yeah.
process of scrutiny.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that we have to go back to the more normal levels of immigration that we had prior to COVID. Um, Alberta would accept can probably in what we had in the past is a percentage of the total population. It was about 0.6% of the total population that came into the country as newcomers. So if we've got 5 million people in Alberta, 1% is about 50,000 people. But the last 3 years, it's been 150,000 a year. It's just a volume issue. We have to get back down to having a more reasonable number of people coming, that there's a job for them, there's a place to go to school, and they can get a doctor and a home. That should be something that everyone can support, because it otherwise newcomers going to be just as disappointed. I mean, I hear about newcomers having to go to food banks. I hear about international students not being able to get a job. I hear about those kind of pressures too. We have to make sure that the number of people coming into the country is also works for the newcomer as well. Otherwise, they're going to be disappointed. There's lots of places in the world that people can go to, and we have to make sure that we can live up to our commitment. So I think that the last 3 years has been a surge that is unsustainable. I'm not the only one saying so. All the other premiers are saying so. The federal government is saying so. They've curbed the temporary foreign worker program, the international student program, and the economic migrant program. So everyone's come to the same conclusion that the last 3 years have not worked well. And we have to figure out a way to get back to a more sustainable level. So that's what we're working on, because I think that will restore the balance and also address some of the underlying tension that you're identifying. When people feel like they're losing opportunities or their kids can't get a job, they get frustrated. And we don't want that frustration to boil over. I think we've got a very good relationship with all cultural communities in Alberta. We want to maintain that. And the way we maintain that is we don't keep adding additional pressure when we've seen that all of our systems are already under pressure. We also have, as you may know, our multiculturalism committee. They keep identifying issues that we can work on so that we can get better support. One of the things that they identified was that we needed to get rid of the 3-year requirement for Canadian experience. So they'll identify others. And we also have our anti-racism committee. So we've got grants associated with being able to provide security cameras in the event there are targeted attacks on communities, whether vandalism or some kind of threat. So we've been we support that through our public safety and emergency services ministry. But I think the main thing is to just get back to a level of newcomers that can be supported by the economy, that'll be good for not only those who are already here, but those who are new arrivals as well.
Thanks, Premier.
Yep.
Thanks, Sam.